And at no point during the game did I ever actually feel nervous or feel like I was at a loss or feel like I had to play intensely. That all those hours of playing, I was like, oh my god, I actually improved. And that, in my eyes, is why Starcraft is incredible as a game. Just as a game, think about that. That it is a game that requires as much mental strength as like a chess grandmaster trying to figure out all the different strategies and the right way to respond and all these little adjustments you make in-game to all the various possibilities. And on top of that, you need to have the dexterity of a musician, to have your fingers obey your brain. You want them to do what you tell them, right? Which is a surprisingly hard thing to do. Your brain can want it all you want, but if you haven't trained your hands to do it, it's not gonna come together. So you need this like brain and dexterity and merge them together. And that means that if you lose, because it's a game, it's not because, oh, the Russian judge was just feeling, angry today. It's not because, oh, there's this subjective rating system. It's not, agree to disagree. You lost straight up, purely, truly, and only because you did something wrong and he had superior mental strength and defeated you that way. But that also means that when you win, it's not because you got, some sort of cheap opportunity. It's not because your mommy and daddy had a lot of money and paid for you to do it. It's not because you had the right connections or because you were cheap or cheating or anything. It is your fault that you got that good at something that hard. And that, I think, has been just the most instrumental thing that has made me appreciate all StarCraft players is just incredible, incredible people. And just that feeling of, oh my god, I actually got better at something. That is so important and so rewarding, because that's really hard to do nowadays, because in school, the kids are just like, all A's for everyone, but now in this harsh environment of StarCraft, you get the chance to prove yourself to yourself. There are so many lessons that I've learned that have been so valuable to me. For instance, losing. A loss is not a bad thing. A failure is not something to be scorned or avoided, or something you should reassure someone on and say, no, it's okay, the Russian judge was just in a bad mood. Those losses, those games that you did not play well, that you lost, that is not you. That is not a reflection of you. That game is completely external to you. And if you just look at it, all that loss is an arrow that points you in the wrong direction. In the worst case scenario, if I lose 100 games, I have 100 different sources of information I can review in order to become a better player. So now I have such a small fear of failure, because you know what? If I completely botch a tournament in the 2005 finals against a player because I choked, no big deal, I'll be back again next year, and I will learn from that mistake, and I will be clutch in the future. It's helped me realize, like if I screw up an assignment, it's not that big a deal. If I end up losing a relationship, it doesn't end up working out, I can deal with it a lot better now. I know that because you have to make decisions so quickly in StarCraft, I now have very little issue just making decisions. And I realize the importance of being able to decide now and figure out if that's better later. Too often I think people spend all this time waffling on various issues. They say, should I do A and should I do B? And they're too scared to make a decision. StarCraft makes you proud to be a decision maker and makes you love being a decision maker. All these situations that you can end up in are so much easier if you have that experience. And the last thing I want to say is that, you learn the importance of community. No one in StarCraft held themselves up, played by themselves, and then came back and was better than everyone. Players played with each other and discussed with each other and formed really tight friendships overseas. Some of my best friends just live in Europe, thanks to StarCraft. That community aspect is just so dear to me.